Hello there, my name is Brother Sean, and as you can see, I am wearing a rather unusual uniform. It's my habit, and it's denim. Yes, denim, because it represents the Fourth Order of Franciscans who embrace all faiths. So, Franciscans of the Fourth Order, that's what we are. And it all came about by accident, because in April 2008, I was attending a wedding in Florence, and during the night, I was guided by a strong feeling to try and make my way to Assisi, bearing in mind it was 4 hours away by train. And the feeling got stronger and stronger and stronger. So early next morning at 6:30, we set off on a 4-hour arduous journey and arrived at Assisi at 10:30 in the morning. And I could see that many tourists were arriving in coachloads to the Basilica. It didn't impress me in the least, because I don't do crowds. But we made our way to the Basilica, and we could see many of the Franciscans toing and froing in different colours of habits: brown, grey, black, white, but none in blue. I found the crypt purely by chance, where St. Francis of Assisi, the 12th century mystic, is buried, and behind him are his dear friends, including Brother Leo. What an experience! If you'd have told me that I would end up in Assisi kneeling at the tomb of Francis, I would say to you, you're barking mad, because it was far from my thoughts. Not that I'm anti-Francis, I'm not. I've always had a love of Francis and Franciscan spirituality, because it embraces simplicity. And that's the journey I'm on. A journey of simplicity, where I don't meet my God in a church building anymore. I meet my God in nature, in the cathedral of God. But let's come back to Assisi. As I knelt in one of the pews in this crypt in the bowels of the Basilica, something was happening. I became overwhelmed by the spirit of this incredible man. And as I sat there in quiet contemplation, I just sensed in my heart, although my head was giving me a tough time, saying, now come on, brother, you really need to keep a rein on your feelings here, because you'll be certified and carried off. But in my heart I sensed that Jesus was speaking. He was speaking words that were familiar to me, because all my life I've prayed for unity and peace for all faiths, not just for Christian unity, for all faiths. That has always been on the tip of my tongue. And as I knelt there, I suddenly started crying, and I'll probably start crying now, because it was such an emotive feeling. It was like stepping out of my body, out of this world, and coming into the presence of God. And without wishing to dramatize it or emotionalize it or desensitize it, something was happening. I was changing. And that inner voice was saying to me, go and embrace all faiths. That I could resonate with. But then I sensed the spirit of Francis speak to my heart. In simple words, establish a lay monastic order for men and women from all faiths to come and sing the praises of the one true loving God. And I thought, dear God, how do I do this? A, I'm not academic enough. B, I don't have the powers, the skills, the wherewithal. I'm just a simple man living a simple life. I'm following my heart. And then I sensed that all will be well, and that the Franciscan Abbey of Peace and Compassion will materialize from the etheric realms when the time is right. But I to leave Assisi and go and wait on God, on the cosmic Christ, and St. Francis, to bring those beautiful men and women who have been wounded, broken, discouraged, disheveled by the impact of religion and fundamentalism, and to embrace one God. What a feeling. And all I know is that I was wet through because I'd cried so much. Cried because my heart was exploding with an inner joy which I've never felt in my life. And then I realized that this was God's vision through Francis, to honor his work, because he embraced interfaith as a friend of Rumi. And obviously he would have encountered the whirling dervishes. It was such an honor and a joy. And from there I made my way up to the Basilica of Santa Clara, St. Clare, his dear friend, who established the Poor Clares. And again I was guided into the crypt of the Basilica to see the body of St. Clare. And I stood looking at her, and I just asked her to help us, because we would encounter many obstacles. And recently I completed a 7-day retreat on the island of Uist in the Outer Hebrides, and it became so clear that St. Francis established 4 orders. 3 of them are known to the whole Christian world. The first order is for men who've dedicated their lives to God in service as Franciscans. The second are the women who've become Poor Clares. And the third are for men and women who lived a simple life as tertiary Franciscans without becoming members of a monastic order. And now we have the 4th, the Teo community of Interspiritual Franciscans, of men and women around the world who are seeking to emulate the simple charisms of Francis through creation and embrace all faiths. And Francis brought to us a beautiful ecology. He brought to us an ecology that embraces God through all faiths, through nature, through peace, through service. And the prayer of Francis rings true. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace, that where there is hatred, I may bring love, that where there is wrong, I may bring your spirit of forgiveness and love, that where there is discord, I may bring harmony. that where there is error I may bring truth, that where there is doubt I may bring faith, that where there is despair I may bring hope, that where there are shadows I may bring thy light, that where there is sadness I may bring joy. Lord, grant that I may see, rather to comfort than to be comforted, to understand than to be understood, to love than to be loved. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Namaste.